but we have to heavily negotiate that, and it's important to get through that sequence. And you know what? We could go back for the 102, we could go back for 103, if we could sustain it, if we could get the faculty to give us that one class session, that one face-to-face session. They only have 10. So trying to embed ourselves in the curriculum is, that's like nirvana, but it's going to take a lot of work, and we're going to continue to work at it, and we have successes. We have it with the freshman engineering sequence. We're getting closer to it with the freshman writing sequence. I mean, we're getting there. We have, with some of the capstone projects, we have it in biology, in engineering again, we have it. So it's just a question, in architecture, we have it. So we're getting there, but it's, you're right.
Well, and that's, I think, where we're also exploring other venues to do it, and whether or not our faculty could. You know, unfortunately, this notion of requirement versus carrot is a tough one. But with the terrace, you know, this is a, you don't have to come here, and we're trying to put more places, and these hubs are no more than just a place to meet. It's not a big room. It's not. You know, we're going to try that as ways to be closer to where your activities are. Yes, Susan.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Susan Davis from the College of IST. So I'm very interested in this because I teach in the Masters of Library and Information Studies program, and I'm thinking of what our students have to learn. And one thing that struck me is that we're lumping everything together, and we're dealing with information needs or knowledge needs or whatever of undergraduates and graduate students. And in a place like Drexel, we're talking about two very different things. What the undergraduates need in terms of learning how to read, learning how to critically think, learning how to write is very different from the level of resources that we need to support the graduate programs. We can't lump it all together. I think we have to tease this apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Any particular thoughts what's needed at the graduate?
More depth. More depth. And that's where the subject base comes in, and that's where the balance between print materials and electronic materials comes in at a different, you know, just at a different level.
And actually, our thought was that I think we were organized more to really address the graduate level. And so what our efforts have now been, and we're recruiting a position to deal with undergraduate education as a real focus to free up the resource and the expertise of our liaisons who have that more depth knowledge. And so that role will hopefully be able to be Suzanne. One Susan to Suzanne.
I'm Suzanne Knoll. I was the co-facilitator of the Future Search Conference in July, and I work in human resources. One thing that, as an outsider to the libraries and the Future Search experience, that I just wanted to bring into the room was the excitement and the dialogue that took place between the move towards more technology. In fact, holography was mentioned several times when people were looking into the future, although at the moment I can't quite recall exactly how holograms were used, but they were mentioned a lot of times. And then with the Academy of Natural Sciences there, the need to maintain archives. And Kevin, I remember you saying in particular how important it was to you to have a place to go to see architectural archives and the importance of older print materials, as well as the monumental specimens that the Academy of Natural Sciences has. And so this back and forth between really far out technological possibilities and the history that the library is a place to tap was quite something for 3 days to kind of go back and forth between those two realities.
Any other thoughts or comments?
Charles Morshak again. About graduate education, one of the areas in which the library is inadequate for graduate education, at least as I was taught it, is in terms of foreign language holdings. JSTOR is great for English and German journals, but try to access Italian or French journals or Spanish. And in fact, knowledge is not all English. And I hope there are ways that the library can develop electronic access to that, because the print holdings, I would guess, are less than 1% non-English in the whole library.
And I think that is partly an intentional scope, because languages haven't really been emphasized as part of the teaching here. But, and it will have, actually from a budget viewpoint, we're able to hold inflation easier, because with the foreign materials, we'll be skyrocketing. But that's not to say we should, and I think for specific areas, it's not going to be one size fits all. So for particular disciplines where that is a more important piece of either graduate research or faculty research, let us know, and we would be balancing what we actually acquire or we license, and what, depending on demand, we might be facilitating easier access through interlibrary loan or through sharing resources with other institutions that are investing more heavily in that. So just let our liaisons know, and we'll keep trying to balance those acts, and I'm sure you will, or have. Any other comments? Well, this has been actually more than we expected, so thank you very, very much for coming. If you're interested, I have a few copies of the draft as it's stated. I can urge you to take a look at it online. We have it at our website, library.drexel.edu/makeityours. And we really would welcome any comments further. I think many of these will incorporate and bring emphasis. And if there's some area you think you'd like to see brought up further to the campus's level of strategic directions, that's partly why we're doing it right now, too, to get into that arena. So thanks again very much. Appreciate it.